Caveat, I am entirely self-taught, but today I'm going to teach you how to wear a kimono. You will need a kimono, a juban. This one's got some staining, so we're going to put an extra collar on it. Just sit down with a show and do a little sewing. Doesn't have to be good. No one's ever going to see it. A collar stiffener, an obi-ita, which is an obi stiffener, your obi, an obi-age, an obi-jime, and your obi-makuro, which is kind of like a pillow. You'll need 3 himo. I like to have an extra one on hand and a little clip to clip the collars. A date-jime, you can have a silk one or an elastic one. And a sarashi is entirely optional. But I'm going to start with patting out my dress form with the sarashi. Just wrap it around and tuck it in. And then we're going to put on a naga juban, which is basically the underwear under your underwear. Get it all tied, make everything look nice. And then we'll put the underwear on, the juban. The only thing that should be visible from this is the collar and a little bit at the sleeves. Make your collars look nice. It's the most visible part of your kimono wearing. I like to just make everything lie flat, smooth it out. Makes the next step easier. Align your collars. This one's a bachi collar, which means it's already folded and sewn in half. Makes things a little bit easier. I like to clip to make sure everything just stays nicely. Get your hemline correct. This is one of the hardest things to do for yourself. And on your top layer, just ooch it up a little bit. Now, anyone who's seasoned in wearing kimono knows what just went wrong here. For everyone who's new here, you want to make sure that you're wearing your kimono left over right. As you can see here, this is right over left. This means you're dead. Don't do that. Do make sure everything is nice and smooth. Get your ohashori. You want that to be nice and crisp. After all that, you throw your date-jime on. Notice how we're still dead here. Don't do this. This is not how it should look in the mirror. Here's a little hack, because these obiage can be made of some really squidgy silk. So in trying to get the makura situated, it can be a little hard. So what I like to do is take a hair tie, wrap the pillow, because that's what makura means after all, is pillow. I like to fold up and then down. And then you take the hair tie and you put it around the middle of the makura, because that's never going to be seen. Make things easy for yourself. In this piece I'm going to do in real time, because I just want to show you a little bit of the frustration, especially when your obi's a little short and you're not sure if you're really going to have enough length in that teisaki. You work with what you got when you're working with vintage stuff. So we're going to hack it a little bit. Mind you, I learned to dress myself, so dressing a mannequin is a little hard, especially when you can't do the little artful turn that people do in kimono dressing competitions to keep the obi from wrapping around you. We're going to put the obi-ita, the obi stiffener, in. This one has a cute little pocket so you can keep your wallet in it. Make sure that it is not visible. You can see here how my ohashori has been completely eaten up by the obi. This is something you want to be really careful of. It's easier to tell when you're looking in the mirror. Alright, so now you tighten it and you want to get as much length out of it as possible. So get it all nice and tight, and this is where I'm realizing that we are not going to be able to do a beautiful teisaki in our musubi. So it's okay to be on the struggle bus, especially when you're working with vintage stuff. You can see how short that is. It's supposed to go all the way through the width, but it doesn't. So we're going to take our makura and just make a nice mountain, a nice pillow at the back. This is what it looks like in the mirror. You kind of want to just tie it to get it out of the way until you're done with the rest of the struggle bus part. Fold your tare up. You want to have about a finger's length between the end of the fold and the end of the tare. Again, this is what it looks like from the front. This is much easier to do on yourself than standing behind somebody to do it. I can't do it facing. I have to do it as though I'm doing it on myself. I'm noticing here that it's not long enough, so instead of doing it all over again, I'm just gonna even it out. As long as you keep it tight, you won't lose your knot. I cannot explain how to do this knot. I do this by feel. I don't even look at it when I do it, because every time I look at it, I mess it up and it doesn't lay flat. Just practice it. That's all I've got to say. And then we're gonna untie the obiage. We're gonna, again, go by feel. It's easier when you can look down and see it. I was doing this entirely by feel. You want to get your ties for your makara, and you want to hold it super, super tight while you tie this, because this is the thing that's holding up the top of your knot. And then you just shove it into the inside of the obi and slide everything up. And then you do the wrong side. Notice this is the wrong side. I'm doing left over right. I want you to see the wrong way that it looks in the mirror, and in the end you'll see the right way that it's supposed to look. If it makes it a Y, you're doing it right. That is yes. Y is yes, you're doing it right. Why do we do it this way? Because it is appreciation, not appropriation. So you can see how the kimono has a Y, but the obiage does not. This is incorrect. You always want to go left over right, or you're dead. And then you spend a bunch of time futzing with things. I've already sped this up, but you can speed it up a little further if you like. The presentation is very important. Doesn't really matter how you do your obijime as long as it looks nice. And then a little fan for display. And here you can see the stacked Ys, meaning everything has been done correctly. We're left over right. This is a beautiful unlined kimono, perfect for the tail end of summer, right before we get into the beginning of fall. The maple leaves are all different colors. This is a really good kimono to herald the coming of fall, right before Hitoe season comes to a close, right before we get into wearing lined kimono again. It's a really nice lightweight expression of the beauty that is a kimono.